Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Everybody wake the fuck up! From the city to the burbs, every street, every curve, you can block what you heard. That's the cure. Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Everybody wake the fuck up! From the city to the burbs, every street, every curve, you can block what you heard. That's the cure. Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Everybody wake the fuck up!
Welcome back to the show. You're now listening to Wake the Flock Up with Concept 714 on location again, Strange Music headquarters in Hollywood. First of all, Joey, how impressed are you walking into this office?
Oh, man.
I know you work here. You work for the Buck.
Yeah, this is my first time in this building. So, because, I'm from Kansas City, so I don't be out here. But, yeah, this is tight, you know what I'm saying?
And then let me ask this, bro. I don't know what's in the water in fucking Kansas City, dog, but right now, you guys are fucking killing it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a strange thing, I guess. We're trying to, swinging for the fences right now, everybody.
You're from Kansas City, born and raised? So having someone as successful as Tech, right? I come out of that city. What kind of influence does that have for the rest of the city?
I mean, everybody's striving to be, that great out there and shit. Kansas City ain't known for a lot of things, but Tech N9ne Strange Music is one of those things. Yeah. So that's obviously the highest level you can get. If
Barbecue?
Barbecue, that's another thing.
Hey, that's not bad.
Jazz music.
There you go. See, you got a solid foundation.
It's all right.
So how did it happen for you to link up with the #1 independent record label in the world?
I actually have done a lot of features and things for Strange before I got signed, with Seth Screw, Stevie Stone, JL, obviously. I mean, Tech even, I've done a lot of features for them already.
As a solo act by yourself?
Yeah. Like independent, but before I got signed to them and shit. So in Kansas City, that's kind of how the hip hop scene is. Everybody knows, who to know kind of around there, and, the elite MCs and shit. So Tech just kind of popped up one day, years back. At one of my shows, and it's kind of was history after that.
So it just progressed from working with them to working for them and alongside with them.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
So I got send your EPK because I like to know what I'm talking about, right? When I'm dealing with it, and it's hard to keep up with all these new. So I got sent it, but I got to tell you, man, I'm very impressed.
Thank you, man.
And I don't like to throw that. My listeners know I don't like to throw those words around, but. You're for a first album, right? This is your first?
Yeah, that debut was Strange. Yeah.
Give me the title.
It's just called Joey Cool.
Okay,
self-titled.
Self-titled.
Yeah.
That's a strong first album.
Thank you.
I enjoyed every track in there, and there wasn't one that I didn't. Sometimes I'll get sent something and I'll listen to the first one. I'm like, I don't want to listen to 3 more tracks.
Right.
But it was so good. It was so clean. And your delivery was, even though it is speed up, you do speed up,
a little
but
bit.
It's proper. It's like I can understand every syllable that's dropped.
Thank you, man.
So it makes me want to carry on to the next track.
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
Where do you think you picked up that style?
Man, it's probably a collective of things, but I don't really know, honestly. I mean, I know the Midwest thing, being from the Midwest or Kansas City, obviously you learn how to, and I got ties and background in Chicago too, so it's just one of those things where we learn how to chop or twist or things like that. If you want to be elite in the Midwest, you kind of learn how to do that shit.
Who would you say you kind of emulated?
I don't really think I was trying to emulate anybody, honestly.
Well, I mean, there comes a natural inspiration by specific.
I mean, yeah, I've as far as rap goes, obviously Tech is somebody that I've been growing up listening to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But there's a lot of influences that are hip hop influences I had that I listened to, like Jay-Z, Kanye was. I was really into the Neptunes for a while. Bunch of shit. Kendrick Lamar is probably of the newer generation, was probably one of the only people I listen to really, but I also don't listen to a lot of hip hop.
I was just going to ask you, give me someone that there's people that I go out of my way not to listen to because their energy, I just feel is so bad or so negative or weird.
I could tell you there's a lot of people I don't listen to, cause I don't even know who they are.
Because you don't listen to them.
There's just a bunch of
Yeah.
bunch of new motherfuckers and shit. I don't know none of these niggas, none of their music or anything. You know. What I'm
So
saying?
you're not a mumble rap fan.
No. I don't do. I wouldn't say I'm not a fan of it, because if I'm in the club, I want to hear that shit.
Sure.
Not some shit that's making me think about it.
Yeah.
If I'm
Time
in the
and
club,
place.
Yeah, if I'm in the club, I'm in the club. That's how it's going down.
Yeah, but I feel there's certain cats that it would never be okay for me to. I would never bump R. Kelly again and not think of a negative image in my head, right?
I feel you.
There's certain cats that I just like, you know what, I'm good, bro. I mean.
Yeah, I see that. I get
Ignite
that.
too. The remix of Ignition was dope, bro. But I'm not gonna,
right.
So this is your first album here with Strange, but do we have past projects that we released solo?
Yeah. I got a few albums out, man. I mean, one of my most recent ones was called Swing Sinatra, actually. That was probably like one of the biggest albums I put out,
And that was independent? You did that solo?
Yeah, I did.
So tell me about the difference you've seen from being signed to not being signed. Like, what do you see as I know it sounds like a dumb question, but like, what do you think the biggest difference is for you as you specifically you've seen?
Biggest difference for me is probably being more recognized, I guess, like by random people and shit.
You've noticed that?
Yeah. Like, what's crazy, like, especially being in different cities, like, it's just random as fuck, when people in somewhere else knows who I am and shit. I'm like, damn, okay.
Yeah, Stevie, I sat with Stevie Stone the other day. And LJ, they were sitting down, and he told me the same thing. Like, I like walking down the street and being recognized, but then it's happening more often, to where it's like interrupting the flow of like grocery shopping or going out.
Yeah, man. It's kind of crazy, bro. Like random places too, you know what I'm saying?
You're pumping gas.
Go to fucking Walmart and people are like, Strange, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess someone like M or Tech, like they can't go to Walmart, right?
Yeah, man. Actually, JL and my homie Info Gates, we were in Santa Cruz the other night. We sat on Tech's bus and shit for a while because they just came in for the show, and that's what Tech was saying. He was like, man, I can't do nothing. I can't go nowhere. I'll just be in this motherfucker. He's on his bus. It's like, he really can't. He can't go anywhere.
If you saw Rihanna recently walk the red carpet, did you see that?
I didn't see it.
She walked out with a wrestler mask, and no one knew it was her, so she just walked in, and then she took the mask off, and then she...
that's tight. Yeah.
It is.
I know. He did that. He did that the other day. Tech did. He was walking the line outside right before doors, but he had his mask on. He was walking with his phone. He put it up on his Instagram.
Everyone's like, okay.
Yeah. Everyone's like, who is that? Like, you gotta know, man. Like, this guy's like this tall.
Yeah, he's not the tallest man.
He's wearing a mask.
No
like,
doubt.
that should be your first.
And besides, there's a 6'5" black guy behind him, right?
There's gotta be some big ass nigga walking behind him and shit. Like, it's probably him,
So your first album was Strange Music. How they just released recently?
Yeah, May 4th actually, like last week or something.
Did it exceed your expectations the way the album came out? Did you like it?
Yes, it did. I mean, I thought it was probably my most solid album I put out and shit. But just the response from the energy I'm getting from people about it, the feedback and all that has been great. Like,
the one thing also that I've noticed from a lot of Strange Music acts is that they're not, I want to say they're clean acts because there's cussing and stuff.
Yeah.
But again, I wouldn't feel bad listening to it with my kids around. It's not like it's... That's
kind of how I wanted to make this album too, because I have a daughter as well. She's 6, and I want her to be able to listen to some of this stuff. Like, obviously, I cuss in it and whatnot here and there. But then I think over the years, I just became more conscious of, self-conscious or self-aware of what I'm saying and shit.
And Strange Music seems to understand, like, that's the way to go.
Right.
Because otherwise, I feel you kind of, in all love to, like, Uncle Luke,
Yeah.
But he can't do outside Uncle Luke music because it's like, I don't want,
He's kind of stuck there.
It's what you expect. The other thing that I also heard was you had, like, a political track.
Yeah.
On is that something that you dive into? Are you into politics?
Not much. That's actually probably one of the few tracks I've ever made like that, honestly. It features Ubiquitous from Cess Crew.
Right.
As well as called Stranger Things, actually. I don't know where that really came from. But I heard that beat and it was kind of just this.
Well, you're very specific about it. It's like you talk about Trump and then you talk about the specifics of him like tweeting and how like other countries have so much shit they ain't got time for that. Like, what inspired you? Was there like a moment, something you saw on TV that made you say, you know what?
I think it was just a collective, all that shit I've seen on TV, you know, just building up recently, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I don't know, I'm trying.